Alright, so just continuing on with our setup, we are still logged in as the ADM user, so we still have access to the admin functions menu, and we're going to do the maintain login ID codes and the representative codes. Quite often these will be the exact same list, but not necessarily, so they are divided into two distinct screens. So the first one, maintain login ID codes, is the creating the codes and the passwords associated so that people are allowed to log in. So you would set up a login ID for anybody who is allowed to access the data in the system. So right now, of course, we have one for the administrator, but we'll set up a brand new one. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the clear button, and we're going to set up the new initials. So they're up to 3 characters long. So I'm going to set one up for myself here. And what I would do here for the reply email and the copy email, if I decide to use the CRM software to send email, which is what we happen to do in-house here, I need to indicate a reply email for each person who can log into the system who is going to be sending email. So, for example, in my case, I might put this in here. Now, I don't have to put a copy email in here, but if I put a copy email into this field, what happens is each time I send email out from the CRM software, it will send a copy of that email back to myself or to whatever email address I put here. So I happen to like that, but if you don't want to do that, you just leave this box clear. And I'm going to save that. And again, if we're going to set up a second person, we would simply set up their initials here. So I'll set up Linda in here. I guess it'd be fair that she can access stuff as well. Okay. And so what you'll see now is we set up the ability for 3 different people to log into the system. So just before we go on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this screen and I'm going to log out. Now I'm going to log in as myself now. I don't have a password yet, so the very first time that I go to log in, it will take me to where I set up my password. So you can either leave each of the users that you set up with the ability to do that, or what you can do is log in as each person that you set up here. And so now I'm officially logged in. You see I'm not logged in as the ADM, so I don't have access to this admin functions. We want to go back there, so I'm going to log out as myself, and I'm going to log back in as the ADM user and the password that I happen to set up for that. And so now I'm back in as the admin. And now if you come back to this screen, what you will see is when you pick a user, it will show you if their password is set up or not. You'll notice, for example, Linda's is not set up, so it might be something that I'd get on to her about setting up, or I might go ahead and just set it up for her. So this is a setting up of the users who have the capability of logging into the system. And the next thing I want to talk about is setting up the representative codes, which may be the same list, but not necessarily. So for example, in here, if I did want to set up a representative, myself as the only representative, and if I had somebody out on the road, for example, I can set up a code for that person as well. So those would be my representative codes. I'm saving by moving to a new line with my tab key, but I could also save if I was on a line by clicking on this save button here. And that's it for setting up the codes. Lastly, dealing with logins and so on and so forth. If you're logged in as somebody, so for example, I'm logged in as admin right now, you can change the password for whom you're logged in simply by using this button. So I would click on this, and this would allow me to change the password for the admin. So I'd have to know the current password, and I would also have to give a new password and confirm it in here. And then that password is now effectively changed for the logged in person. And that concludes this lesson.